Hey, I came across an awesome thing on, well, actually one of my subscribers sent me the link, and I just thought I would put this up on YouTube. You know, for people who, not everybody has a good understanding of how to be around people who are sad or depressed or despondent or suicidal. Not everybody has a good understanding. Some people have absolutely no compassion whatsoever and no ability, no empathy or original thoughts of their own or imagination of their own. And they actually need to refer to verses in a book to try to help somebody who is depressed and suicidal. You know, like anyway, this video is kind of like, it's kind of hard to explain it. It's kind of like a cookbook, you know, little recipes on how to say and what to say to somebody who's sad and suicidal. And by invoking verses from a book, it's supposed to, you know, and praying to an imaginary being for guidance. You know, it's just like, I need to get these tightened. Anyway, so this video, I'm just going to kind of play a little bit and comment, and at the end of this, I will probably put the whole thing up so you can watch it yourself. I'm not going to play the whole thing and comment, but just commentary at the start a little bit, and then I'm just going to play the whole video. So here we go. I'm going to do this, see, so you can kind of... This is sad. The woman's crying is just, it rends the heart, doesn't it? Makes you feel sad, doesn't it? I suppose it's natural for somebody to cry at a funeral, you know, when they've lost a loved one. But the way these guys treat her, you know, like a year later, like I guess it's not normal to be sad a whole year later. You should be over it a whole year later. It's funny because everybody grieves differently, and some people grieve longer than other people. Anyway, this first scenario really pisses me off because he kind of gets on her case about being sad a year later.
The library looks like it's available.
Step 1 on how to treat a suicidal person.
How can I help you?
How can I help you?
I can't take the loneliness anymore. I want my dog back. I want my life back like it was before. The last song triggered my feelings. It feels like my heart is being ripped out of my chest all over again.
It's been a year now, Mary. You shouldn't be this upset still.
My dad died when I was 6, and I can still cry if I hear a sad song.
You must recall that 1 Thessalonians 4 says that we, when sorrow is the rest also do who have no hope. So our hope in itself should calm you down.
I don't think I can go on. It'd be better to turn the car on in the garage and go to sleep.
I know this is difficult for
I
you.
know this is difficult for you,
Please know that others have had similar
but
feelings.
other people have gone through this
You have to
too.
remember in Exodus 20 when Jehovah said, "You must not murder." That included self-murder.
Oh my goodness. Just for that, you better not kill yourself, because you're going to go straight to hell if you do.
Stay faithful to Jehovah if you
Stay
truly want to see God in the new
faithful.
world.
Oh, okay, so emotional blackmail. You better be faithful. You're not going to see your husband again.
So sorry the song triggered your emotions. We all want the best for you, Mary. You know that, don't you?
Oh, God. The patronizing is just...
Awkward to face the friends when you're feeling this way.
It's like he's reading a script.
You're welcome to sit in here until you feel your emotions are settling.
In fact, that's what they're doing. They're giving a script to people to, this is what you say, this is what you say. You know, it's like when she first walks in the room and he goes, "How can I help you?" This man just saw her, you know, upset. And he goes, "How can I help you?" to start this conversation. Okay, scenario 2. This is really hurt on my This is really hurt on my arm doing it this. Okay, so it is. Okay. Oh, there she goes. There she goes. This whole living forever bullshit. Hi! I had my camera teetered on the back of a chair, and Mischief just jumped up into the chair, so clearly this is not working very well. Yes. And they're paused. Oh, now it stopped. Okay, you know what? I guess we're done with the commentary part, but I suspect the rest of this is going to be the same. I'm just going to play the video, because now, see the shaking? The cat is still in the chair. Okay, we're just going to do this. Okay, hi! There, yeah, I don't have a lot of high-tech equipment. Anyway, so this is a Jehovah's Witness video. It's an actual video. It's called Shepherding and... what's it called? Wait a minute. One of my subscribers pointed this video out to me. It's called Shepherding Instructional Suicidal Widow. And apparently it's been leaked. Yes, it's not something that the Jehovah's Witnesses want people to see. There's actually a couple others too I'm going to put up. But this one was a little more near and dear to my heart, so I wanted to put this one up first. So, enjoy!
Mary. The library, it looks like it's available. Have a seat. How can I help you?
I can't take the loneliness anymore. I want my Don back. I want my life back like it was before. The last song triggered my feelings. It feels like my heart is being ripped out of my chest all over again.
It's been a year now, Mary. You shouldn't be this upset still. We have the wonderful hope of the resurrection. You must recall that 1 Thessalonians 4 says that we wouldn't sorrow as the rest also do who have no hope. So our hope in itself should calm you down.
I don't think I can go on. It would be better to turn the car on in the garage and go to sleep.
I know this is difficult for you. Please know that others have had similar feelings. But you have to remember at Exodus 20 when Jehovah said, "You must not murder," that included self-murder. Always remember that you need to stay faithful to Jehovah if you truly want to see Don in the new world. I'm so sorry the song triggered your emotions. We all want the best for you, Mary. You know that, don't you? I know it's awkward to face the friends when you're feeling this way. You're welcome to sit in here until you feel your emotions have settled down some.
Thank you.
You want the light on or off?
Off. Brother Shepherd, can I talk with you, please?
Of course. It looks like the library is available. I see Brother Good nearby. Is it okay if I invite him to join us?
Yes, thank you.
Bill. Mary Johnson would like to speak with us in the library. Can you join us?
Sure. Hi, Mary.
Hi.
Can we help Mary?
I can't take the loneliness anymore. I want my Don back. I want my life back like it was before. The last song triggered my feelings. It feels like my heart is being ripped out of my chest all over again.
We can understand why the song would affect you that way. You and Don had a wonderful relationship.
Why am I still so torn up? It's been a year already.
Even though it's been a year and you've made good progress in coping, it's not wrong to still have moments of intense grief. When Jacob thought that his son Joseph had been killed, Genesis says that his father continued weeping for him.
Nothing can take away this pain of heart until Don and I are reunited as husband and wife.
That's a natural reaction, Mary. Remember, though, that Jehovah will continue to support you.
And one of the ways that he does this is by means of the elders.
I know, and I appreciate your help. It's just that...
Mary, would you be available for a visit this afternoon? Say around 1:30?
Yes, I would. Thank you, Brother Shepherd. And you too, Bill.
Overall, it seems Mary is doing better than she did just a few months ago. However, she still has some very emotional setbacks.
Yes, and I thought we could take a couple of minutes to find some verses. And perhaps a magazine article that could help her strengthen her determination to be an integrity keeper. And first, let me say a brief prayer, asking for Jehovah's guidance.
Amen.
Thank you so much for coming, brothers. It just seems that I can't get over Don's death. I'll be okay for a day or two, and then anything could trigger this devastating hollow void I feel inside. I've had to run the business all by myself, and I don't have to remind you of the troubles I've had with the house. Sometimes I feel so worn out, I don't want to go on anymore. I really don't. I've even had thoughts of turning the car on in the garage and just going to sleep inside.
Thank you for feeling comfortable enough to tell us that. It is not unusual for intense grief to cause bouts of depression and even some irrational thoughts. You know who you remind me of, Mary? You remind me of Job of old. Satan tries to capitalize on tragic events to cause a lover of Jehovah to falter spiritually. We often set Job up on a pedestal, as if he were a perfect integrity keeper. Mary, always remember that while Job kept his integrity, he was imperfect, with feelings just like yours.
I don't think he was as messed up as I am.
Let's think about that. He lost 10 family members in death, and he lost the family business altogether. Turn to Job, chapter 6, verses 2 and 3. Let's see if you can relate to him. Job, chapter 6, verses 2 and 3. It says, "Oh, that my vexation," that's his emotional anxiety, "my vexation were altogether weighed, and that at the same time my adversity they would put on scales themselves." Mary, he doesn't think that anyone can know how he feels. If they could put his emotional pain on scales and see the needle register into the red, then maybe someone could understand what he's going through. Verse 3, "For now it," that's his vexation, "is heavier even than the sands of the seas." Does that sound like you, Mary? What was the effect on righteous Job? It continues, "That is why my own words have been wild talk." Do you know what some of his wild talk was, Mary?
Was it his questioning why Jehovah allowed it all?
That's true too, but he felt much like you just described yourself. Well, Job didn't have a car in the garage. He said in chapter 7, "My soul chooses suffocation, death, rather than my bones." In chapter 10, he said, "I have a loathing for life." He had wild thoughts like you have. But think about it. We don't call him Job the emotionally distraught soul, do we? No, he was Job the integrity keeper because he did not give in to his irrational thoughts. Mary, thus far you too are an integrity keeper. Like Job, be determined not to give in to such wild thoughts. When such a thought comes to mind, treat it as you would an immoral thought. What would you do with an immoral thought?
Reject it.
That's right. Change that thought, even physically doing something different. Repeat to yourself, "I am an integrity keeper. I am an integrity keeper." And if possible, read a little from the Psalms to help stabilize your emotions.
Thank you for sharing that. I needed to hear it. And I do want to provide Jehovah with an answer to the taunter.
Mary, before we came over, we did a little research and have some verses we'd like to share. They might help you to continue making progress in coping with your grief.
I need all the help I can get.
Please find Jeremiah chapter 29, verses 11 and 12. We know that it has been difficult for you to get the calamity of Dawn's death out of your mind, and that's understandable. But Mary, how does Jehovah view you and your situation? You see, Jehovah has the ability to look beyond your calamity and to see you in the future when your hopes become a reality. Read these beautiful words in verse 11 with me and be thinking, this is what Jehovah thinks when he looks down and sees what Mary is dealing with. It reads, "For I myself well know the thoughts that I am thinking toward Mary," is the utterance of Jehovah. Thoughts of peace. It says he thinks of peace when he sees you, and not of calamity, to give you a future and a hope. Jehovah chooses not to dwell on the calamity, but he looks to your peaceful future and hope.
What a wonderful example for all of us, to try to focus not on the calamity, but on our future and our hopes.
Now look at the assurance he gives to you, Mary, in verse 12. When you pray to him, what will happen? It says, "And you will certainly call me and come and pray to me." And Jehovah says, "I will listen to you." Isn't that comforting and reassuring?
Yes, yes it is. I don't ever remember reading those verses before.
God's Word is alive and in effect adapts to our changing circumstances with a word behind us saying, "This is the way, Mary. Walk in it with his people."
I'd like to give you an assignment. Will you agree to memorize those 2 verses? Then, when you're overwhelmed, repeat the verses to yourself, even doing so out loud. It might have a calming effect on you.
I'll do that and give it a try. Oh, I'm sorry. I must be losing my mind. I meant to set out some cookies to go with your coffee.